Hello, everyone. Welcome to Hope Rising. We're so happy that you joined us again this week. Today is Tuesday, August 28th, 2018. We have an exciting lineup today. There are 4 guests today. This is the most guests we've ever had. We're going to be talking about something going on right here in Cumberland, Maryland, USA. It's going to be exciting to talk. We have with us Nick Scarpelli, that he's a former city councilman here in Cumberland. And we have Nick and also Tyler Clayton. Tyler is with Western Maryland Scenic Railroad. There are first 2 guests that are going to be speaking to us. Just want to do a quick little update, though. For those of you who are used to watching Hope Rising, regarding the benefit that we were doing the last 3 weeks, we did reach the goal on Sunday of $3,000. So thank you for everyone that participated in donating, for those of you who purchased things it was for the missionaries, our friends in Nicaragua. So thank you, and there's a quick little update for you. So today we're going to talk to Nick and Tyler, first of all, and thank you both so much for being here on Hope Rising today.
Thank you for asking.
Awesome. So Nick, I first want to ask you, what is the purpose of the River and Rails Festival that's coming up in September?
This is going to be a festival that introduces the community to the River Project. The River Project is going to be turning the Potomac River into a recreational area so the kayaking, canoeing, people can walk by the river, a plethora of activities that could take place around the river. Cumberland is one of the very, very few cities that has a natural body of water running through the center of town. We're not utilizing it. This particular project is going to show the community what would happen if indeed we start utilizing the river, bringing people into the community and allowing them to spend money so that we could participate in some of the millions of dollars of tourism money that come into almost every other community in the United States.
That is great, Nick. I appreciate you giving us that. Tyler, can you tell us a little bit about the dates of this and things on the Western Maryland Scenic Railroad side that we would really be interested in find out about?
Yeah, so the event is happening September 7th through 9th of this year, right on Canal Place grounds.
Okay.
And so on our side of things, on the Western Maryland Scenic Railroad side of things, we are celebrating our 30th anniversary.
Oh my goodness, 30 years now.
The Tourist Railroad was founded in 1988 and is still going strong 30 years later. You know, just last year alone, we had about 32,000 riders and brought in revenue over 1.5 million, you know, which is really exciting and surprising when a lot of people in the area find out about how much of an economic impact it makes right here in Allegheny County.
That's remarkable.
And so we've got a lot of things that we are doing specifically for the festival. We're offering $30 rides Thursday through Sunday that week on our general excursions. So we are offering that promotion now just on Thursdays, but for the event, we are doing it Thursday through Sunday. In addition, on Saturday, we've got speeder car rides right on our rails, hand car rides where you're actually pumping like Mickey and Minnie back in like 1940s. And then we've got the gift shop open. We'll have a lot of different train displays set up just to really embrace, you know, our railroad heritage.
Yes, that's awesome. Oh my goodness! Say that again. How much money is brought into Cumberland through this?
Yes. So, you know, Nick and I were talking, and the idea of, you know, the value that these guests bring into the community. You know, what is it? Over $100 if a guest spends the night in town?
$100 to $150.
So that you know, we create the venue, and then they're like, what else is there to do here? You know, we're going to go to some restaurants, we're going to see a show, you know, so when we draw them in, and the river park could be another big draw for you know, the community.
So essentially, tourists come into town, they use the bike trail, they participate in the railroad activities, they spend the night, and the next day they utilize the river activities. It's a weekend. It's a vacation. We become a destination.
That's great. Tyler, one more time, could you say about on Facebook where people can find out more information?
Sure. So the River Rails Fest. So it's just facebook.com/River Rails with an S Fest, or you can just do WMS Railroad on Facebook too.
That is great. So all of you watching at home, make sure you look that up on the Facebook site. And we're going to make sure that you get that information. So Tyler, thank you for sharing that with
Absolutely.
us today.
You got it.
So now we're going to ask to Dee Dee and Tyler are going to switch out here for a little bit. But we have several questions that we're going to ask our viewers. This is interactive today, so if you have questions that you would like to ask our guests, just let us know. Send us in the questions, and we'll put them out to our guests to answer them. Dee Dee, thank you so much for being here today. We're just delighted that you're here with us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So Dee Dee Ritchie is the Executive Director of the Canal Place Preservation and Development Authority. She wears two hats. Her other title, Executive Director, Canal Place Heritage Area. So Dee Dee, that's a lot you've got going, isn't it?
It is a lot.
All right, so I have a question for you, Dee Dee. Who are the incoming participants, the vendors and the entertainment for this festival we're looking forward to in September?
We have a lot of, it's all local vendors.
Great.
And a lot of local musicians coming in. We're starting out Friday night with the Sheetles Band is actually not a local band, but it's a all-female Beatles band that's going to come in and play. And followed by that will be Star Wars: The Last Jedi. It'll be an outdoor movie.
That'll be fun. Family friendly then,
Very,
right?
very family friendly
That's
all
awesome.
weekend. Saturday starts out with the 3M Challenge, which is man versus machine. It'll be bicyclists racing against the diesel of the Western Maryland Scenic Railroad. So we have that starting out at 8 o'clock. We have Jupiter Vinyl playing, Channel Cats playing, Sailwinds playing, and we're going to end it with all the Johnny Cash tribute band and fireworks on Saturday night. And then Sunday, starting at 10 o'clock, we'll have an interfaith service, and then there'll be some music. And we're going to finalize Sunday with yoga starting at 2 o'clock on the festival grounds. So it's a lot of local vendors, a lot of local musicians coming in, and we want to showcase our local businesses and our local talent
That's
at this
great.
festival.
So Dee Dee,
Oh,
should...
Dee Dee, one last thing. Don't forget to tell them about the Cumberland Symphony that's going to be there.
Right. Also on Saturday is going to be the Cumberland Sympathy. They'll be playing at, I think they play at around 11 o'clock.
Okay.
So we're looking forward to having them there too.
And actually, Cumberland has a great symphony orchestra. Did you know that?
I didn't. I know we had the Potomac, but I didn't know about the Cumberland Symphony.
We actually have a symphony orchestra in town.
Wonderful to
It's
know.
wonderful. Wait till you hear
Yes.
it.
So we'll have the church service first at 10, right?
Right.
And then 11, the symphony will start on Sunday, correct?
Well, the Cumberland Symphony is actually on Saturday.
Okay, sorry.
No, that's okay.
Okay.
That's okay. Sunday is interfaith service followed by some musicians, I think interfaith church musicians, and then yoga on Sunday.
Nice. That's really great, Dee Dee. All righty. So, Dee Dee, I have another question for you. How will the River Park at Canal Place project benefit our community?
Well, it'll benefit it in several ways. I really think it's going to be an economic game changer for the city of Cumberland and Allegheny County, in that there's going to be so many different activities located on the North Branch of the Potomac River here in Cumberland that it could bring in thousands and thousands of guests and tourists to our area. And those people are going to do what Nick and Tyler were talking about. They're going to spend the night, and they're going to spend money in our area. I think it's also going to be a quality of life change for residents of Allegheny County. It'll give them something else to do, more family-friendly oriented activities on the river.
That's important. All
And
right.
aren't you tired of hearing all the kids in town complaining about there's nothing
Nothing
to
to
do?
do.
I mean, how many times have you heard that same story from
There
a teenager?
Be something to do for
Yes,
sure
now we have
right?
something to do.
All right, Dee Dee, so what does the River Park at Canal Place project entail?
Well, there's going to be a variety of activities that go along with the River Project. The River Park Project will actually start at the Cumberland YMCA, and at this point it will go down to the Carpendale Trestle. So it's a connectivity project, and we're going to have a floating pier and a river walk that's going to connect Canal Place and the Gap Bike Trail and the Western Maryland Scenic Railroad to camping at the YMCA. And you'll actually be able to also walk along the river and enjoy the view. There'll be whitewater activity. There'll be canoe and kayak access. There'll be plenty of parking for everybody that wants to come, and people that say there's no parking. There'll be plenty of parking for the activities to enjoy. There'll be viewing areas. and just more access to the North Branch of the Potomac River in Cumberland, because right now there is no access.
So would the parking be near the YMCA? Is this where the parking access is going to be?
There'll be parking at the YMCA. There'll be parking under the interstate bridge on the road going into Ridgely. We're going to try to incorporate more parking around Canal Place.
Okay, that would be a wonderful thing, so people would have a lot of place to park.
Yes.
And then enjoy that. That's great. So we're going to switch out another little time here now, and we're having next up a gentleman that's with us today. We have Jim Christie. Jim is Senior Project Manager, Civil and Environmental Consultants. So Jim, we appreciate you being here today as part of this, talking about the Rail and Trail Festival. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So Jim, why does our community need this Cumberland River Park at Canal Place project?
This is another opportunity for the region, not just Cumberland, but the region itself. And what this does is when people come in to visit your bike trails or visit the Western Maryland Railroad, we want them to stay. So what we're trying to do is create another opportunity. The river for multiple generations has been a detriment to town. You don't see it, you don't get to touch it and feel it. What we're doing now is inviting people down to that area. Let them touch the water, let them play in the water, be a spectator during a kayaking event, or finishing the Maryland's longest river trail. Right now, there's a missing link, and it's from Cumberland, and it's just in the city limits of Cumberland. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create that and finish the longest river trail and be able to get people through. So the goal is to get businesses oriented towards the river close by, so you're creating economic opportunity, and you're also giving people that are visiting another opportunity for recreation to stay here. I think Nick had mentioned that as well.
So Jim, if I may ask you, how much will this project cost?
At this point, we don't have a firm budget on it. The next step is the implementation strategy or feasibility study. And what we'll do is we'll go through all the pieces of the project, and we'll start to put the budget numbers to each piece. We'll also go through all the regulatory compliance that we'll have to go through to make each of those pieces happen, because most of the project happens within the Army Corps of Engineers flood control project.
That's awesome. Thank you for answering that. So what is the economic benefit at the Cumberland River project?
Sure. What that does is that starts to bring people in that may not have stopped here before. Instead of bypassing Cumberland on the interstate, there's another reason to stop. Beyond that, there's going to be new businesses basically related to the river, restaurants, gift shops, different things of that nature. So what we're doing is trying to really change that mold and bring more people in. We'll also be putting more heads in beds in the community, which is very important. Every recreation project, what we're trying to do is bring that economic base and really build that base. Keep somebody there for 1 extra day or 2 days. And whether that's a destination or a staycation. You know, we want people that live here in the region to also come here and stay here.
Enjoy it, right?
Yes.
Jim, can you talk a little bit about the kayaking part? Maybe you and Nick both can share about.
Sure.
That's really intriguing. I think there's a lot of people in our community that really like kayaking.
Sure. Kayaking is a huge sport right now, and it's really on the upswing. And so what we want to do is create an area of whitewater that people can go in there and play and do tricks and have events. So when we have events on the side of the hill, we have built-in amphitheaters, so we have spectators. So we're creating festivals and events around that whitewater. If people are a little bit scared of the whitewater, I'm not a whitewater rafter, but I like the water. We also have bypass areas for somebody that may be in a tube or in a canoe, so family friendly.
Oh, very
So we
nice.
want people that actually love kayaking and want to do harder whitewater, but we also want to be able to have a full family out there and let them bypass safely.
That's a wonderful
And one other
thing.
thing that Jim has talked about is if you're able to make Cumberland into a destination, you also are going to entice conventions and competitions, which bring lots of people to your town and build some excitement around the town and brings in even more money.
That's a good
And
point.
you're a huge proponent of that.
Oh, very
if
much
I'm-
so.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's
So the whitewater part, about how many do we have it as far as distance? How long of a strip that would be?
Sure, that's open for design at this point.
Okay.
In a situation when a river is this wide and this long, what we'll typically do is 4 or 5 different stops. And they're kind of strategically placed where parking is, where facilities are, and then where we can get pedestrians there easily. So we want to make sure that they can get down there easily. We have ADA accessibility and things of that nature. So that's all part of that design process.
And then once this is done, you could probably go from Cumberland to Georgetown on the river, and we'll let you be the first one to do it. And you could be the first one to do it since 1840.
About that. That's a remarkable thing. From here to Georgetown or from here up to Pittsburgh, right? We can go either way. So that's awesome. All right, so Nick, I'm going to have another question for you now. So you feel then that this project, the River Park at Canal Place, could be a huge economic boom to our community. Is that right?
I'm a firm believer in that.
That's great.
Yeah, I think this is going to be the game changer for the community. And that is the reason I've become so passionate. I said after serving on city council, I was not going to get involved in any other political activity, but this one was too good for me to bypass. I see this as being one thing that is going to change the posture of our whole community. And I think we all need to get on board. We need a
Right.
change.
Well, Nick, we know that you're very passionate about Cumberland and the success of our community and the family friendly. We want to be able to keep our families here in Cumberland,
Exactly.
have something to do. It is a great destination place. Rather than having to go out of town for all these things, we can right here in Cumberland do these things, whitewater rafting, walk the loop of the trail.
And
There's so
Donna,
much
and I'm
exciting.
tired of all of our kids wanting to leave this area. They have to leave this area for employment. And I see it every day. I want my kids to be around.
Sure.
And of course, people want their grandchildren to be around.
Absolutely.
So we've got to start promoting our own area and positively
Right.
promoting it.
It's a wonderful area. We've lived in Cumberland for about 33 years now. My husband had a job transfer here, and we chose to stay here and raise our family. It's a beautiful area. When they moved us here, it was October, so we were sold on the beautiful leaves. It is a gorgeous autumn, and I think because of all the rain this summer that I've heard different people say we should have an exquisite fall because of all the moisture. So let's hope again we get right. Keep our fingers
Yeah.
crossed for a
Well, that's
beautiful
what the
fall.
Scenic Railroad's hoping for.
That's right, right. So now, Nick, I know you're a person of faith, and so I have one last question for you. So what is the key prayer request that you would have for our community?
I pray for change. I pray that we can get beyond some of the negatives that have been plaguing our community for so long. I'm tired of hearing about the burglaries, the opioid problems that we do have. I pray that things will start happening in our community that are positive, that give people a reason to want to stay in our town. I hope that at some point we have employment opportunities so that our children can stay in the area. And most of all, I am a firm believer that this is going to be one of the ways that we can at least battle the opioid problems that we have been having. And that is that once people get out of rehab, if they are sick from addiction, they will at least have another spear in order to explore. So they're not getting back into the same circle that they had just left. This will provide entry-level positions. This will be something that they can do that will hopefully cause them to put their past behind them. So it's my prayer, and I pray it every day.
It's a wonderful thing. We do want to be praying for the folks that have been battling addiction and to have something to do with the family, to get out on the walks out there, to go kayaking, canoeing, lots of wonderful positive things that we can do. All right, so as you all know, this is a faith-based program, and I want to leave you with a scripture today. The scripture that we're going to talk about today is from Isaiah. It's Isaiah 41:10. Do not be afraid, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my victorious right hand. That's right from the Bible, Isaiah 41:10. The Lord is always with you. He will never leave you or forsake you. He's going to uphold you with his victorious right hand. Join us again next Tuesday. We have people booked. Our guest speakers, we're booking into January now. So each Tuesday, you're going to have something really spectacular to look forward to. Things we're going to talk about locally, things about the nation. There's always going to be something to good things to tune into. Thank you again, our guest today. Thank you for watching. Join us again next Tuesday. Bye-bye now.